What if I told you that my greatest manifestation hack is also my absolute laziest? I am, of course, talking about subliminals.
Welcome to the Love Siren podcast, your weekly dose of enchantment for the modern romantic. I'm Dahlia, your queer, poly, feminist witch, guiding you into your most magnetic, irresistible siren self. If you're craving ocean deep love, delicious confidence, and results that last, you've just unlocked the right portal. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get into it.
Subliminals are my absolute secret sauce for upgrading my life. I feel like my mindset has done a 180 over the past few years, and I absolutely think that having subliminals in the background in my life has made such a massive, massive difference. So, if you don't know what a subliminal is, on the surface, it just sounds like spa music, but there are affirmations that are hidden at a low frequency volume that basically it bypasses your conscious mind and goes straight down into your subconscious mind. And why would we want to do this, you might ask? Well, let's take the affirmation, money is constantly flowing my way, as an example. When I hear that affirmation, my conscious mind is a punk rock kid and is like, no, it doesn't. Especially when I had my day job and I got paid monthly. Like, sure, I got paid consistently, but constantly? You call 12 times a year constantly? I don't really think so. And so the point of the subliminal is that my conscious mind wouldn't be able to argue back at that affirmation, and it would just go straight into my subconscious mind, therefore being able to find the evidence that money is constantly flowing my way. There's so much scientific evidence that affirmations are incredibly useful and helpful for people, but there is a major criticism that I think is very worthwhile to bring up, which is that if an affirmation can feel a little bit too out of reach for where you are in the current reality, it can make you feel worse than you did before. And what I love about subliminals is that, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want because, again, your conscious mind isn't arguing back on what is possible, because your conscious mind is what is in charge of that logic. It's in charge of that reasoning. It's the actual thinking that you're doing. The subconscious mind is all about that autopilot. And the subconscious mind has been fed a lot of narratives over the course of your life, right? Either from society, from your parents, whatever it may be. Hopefully, you've been fed a diet of only positive and wonderful things, but more than likely, there has been some garbage that has been fed to you along the way. Subliminals can help change a lot of that autopilot to work in your favor instead of against you. So let's do a different example of an affirmation that you might have heard that is not helpful, such as money doesn't grow on trees. This is something that I definitely heard growing up, and as I have been healing my relationship with money, it's something that I can feel is really ingrained in me, and subliminals have helped me reframe the way that I see this. So, one of the things that I can point to is I have a high yield savings account, which means that I don't need to do anything to earn some extra cash other than just have money in that account. Which, sure, the money isn't literally growing on trees. I don't see dollars and cents outside my window right now, but it is still growing without me needing to do any kind of hard work, which is what that affirmation is actually trying to say. Another example is one that I hear all the time here at Love Siren Witchery, which is love is hard. And love isn't hard. Misalignment, poor communication, and unhealed patterns are what's hard. But when two emotionally available people with aligned values come together, love can often feel incredibly easy and supportive and very natural. Calling love hard only normalizes the dysfunction. Another fun fact about subliminals is that they are banned by the US government. It is against the law for advertisers to use subliminals because they know how crazy effective they are. So anything that is banned by the government, I'm at least like vaguely interested in learning more. You know what I'm saying? There are tons of free subliminals all over YouTube, but I honestly would caution against them. I used to use them and I listened to one. I'm not going to say who the creator was, but I listened to one that was like, tomorrow you're going to receive amazing news. And I did. I received incredible news about a class that I had pitched got accepted. It was a huge level up in my stand up comedy career. And it was also a really big monetary boost. When everything was done, they also asked me back. Like, it was a great, great thing. And I 100% think that the subliminal helped even just kind of line stuff up to make that happen. I listened to a different subliminal from the same creator, and I found myself feeling so lethargic and so icky. And I was like, what is going on? And I think that like my science mind can kick in at this point and kind of be like, well, it could have just been coincidence. Like, who knows where you were in your cycle? Who knows what was happening that day? Who knows? But that's part of the problem, is that I don't know. This creator chooses to not put the affirmations that they use in the subliminal into the YouTube description. And so I'm petrified of that. There's also so much that is happening with AI where, like, I'm not going to get into it. I might do a different episode later about my feelings around AI. Spoiler, it's mostly negative. But definitely when it comes to my subconscious mind, I do not want any affirmations that a robot gave me. I don't want any music that a robot made. I want only things that are made by actual humans. I honestly wish I was less suspicious of the subliminals that are available on YouTube. I think that it is such a wonderful, wonderful tool, and to have so many of them en masse, so easily available for free, is incredible. However, there is that old adage about if you're not buying something, then you're the product. And I just am too cautious. I'm too protective of my subconscious mind to ever give myself to a stranger. And I might be a stranger in your world, and I want you to be suspicious of me. So if you do end up buying a subliminal from me, I will always send you a document that has the list of affirmations that I use. I currently have 3 available purchases that you can make. The first one is the Siren song subliminal, which is my signature one. This is all about calling in your perfect partner. If you use the coupon code transformational, then it is only $5.55, which I think is a pretty good deal. 555 is my favorite angel number. It is associated with transformation. I also have a self-love subliminal, which is a little bit more self-explanatory. This is great if you just need a little bit of a boost in yourself, especially if you have been ghosting on yourself recently. The last one that I offer is a custom subliminal. This is my absolute favorite and the one that I highest recommend because we can really custom tailor it to you and what you are trying to call in this world. I absolutely love being able to tailor the subliminal to actual evidence that you have experienced in your life to make it that much more potent. So, for example, I usually give myself a quarterly subliminal based off of what I'm trying to call in. In my current one, I have the affirmation, system errors are constantly working in my favor. And I have a list of system errors that have happened to me in the past that I'm trying to communicate to my subconscious mind. I'm like, more of that, please. Because I really like to think of the subconscious mind as like this golden retriever. Like, it is so desperate to make you happy, and it's so hungry to bring back exactly the thing that you want to have in this world. It might show up in ways that you don't quite expect, but it is doing it. So, for example, let's say you're trying to manifest a new car. Let's say you're trying to manifest a Mustang. The subconscious mind is like, oh, you want a Mustang? Sure, I could totally make that happen. And maybe it gives you a sticker of a Mustang instead of the actual car itself. Your subconscious mind is like, clearly I did this. Hello. I would like my thank you, please. I would like my scratch behind my ears. And you're sitting here like, I don't want a sticker. I want the car. And so being able to work together one-on-one, we would be able to get incredibly specific and make sure that the language is exactly correct, so that way you are getting what you want out of this world. I also offer the subliminal in your voice or mine. So if you want to send me a voice note with the affirmations recorded, then I will make the subliminal with your voice. But sometimes, especially with affirmations that feel just a little bit out of reach, it can feel a little easier to have somebody else do them. Always, it is my goal to make sure that you feel empowered all the time. I don't want you to ever give away your power to somebody else. But that being said, sometimes it's helpful to have somebody else believe in you, so that way you can believe in yourself. And I will always be somebody who is believing in you. Even if we don't work together ever, I 100% believe in your dreams, and I am always going to be rooting you on. If you do end up getting a custom subliminal, we also don't have to worry about copyright as much, and so you can have whatever music you want. If you want to have metal music instead of spa music, we can make that happen. I also just want to talk about the do's and don'ts for when you're listening to subliminals, whether it be mine or somebody else's. So I would not recommend listening to subliminals when you're driving or when you're doing something that requires your full brain. So if you're doing like really intense work, that's not necessarily the best time to do the subliminal. But if you're doing something like mindless, like data entry kind of stuff, that is a great time to do it. Meditation and right before you fall asleep, those are beautiful times. And also doing like chores, something that's a bit more mindless where your brain can start to really absorb all of the affirmations. The last thing that you need to do is simply get curious about what is showing up in your reality. I mentioned earlier about the system errors that I was experiencing. I kind of don't want to talk about this. I'm not going to lie, but I think that we're in early days that I think I'm okay and I'm safe. But I had the crazy thing happen to me where my rental company was 100% supposed to raise my rent. They were supposed to do $140 a month, which, wait, hold on, let me do math. That is $16.80 per year, which I needed to pull out a calculator for. Being a love witch is my strength, not math. Anyway, I think that a lot of people could see that and just kind of be like, oh, wow, how lucky am I? But to me, I genuinely see that $16.80 as money that I should have paid this year that I didn't, and therefore I see it as income. I see that as abundance. I see that as a huge break for me. I definitely would have stayed in this apartment even with that $140 increase, but it just makes my life so much easier, especially as everything else starts to get more expensive. So I feel incredibly grateful. And this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, where I feel like somebody who is not witchy would just kind of see that as like my rental company being a bit incompetent. But for me, I'm like, oh my God, the universe has got my back. I touched on this a little bit, but I want to talk about affirmations themselves because they are so important, and subliminals can help 10x what you're trying to manifest. But for me, I have sticky notes all around my house with various affirmations. My favorite place is my bathroom mirror because it means that I read the affirmation as I'm brushing my teeth. I usually like to have 4 sticky notes because I have an electric toothbrush that is like 30 seconds on each side of my mouth. And so it just means that like I read that affirmation multiple times for 30 seconds, then I move on to the next one, blah, 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 blah. So I have affirmations that are pretty standard. For example, one of the ones that's on my mirror is show me how easy and magical this gets to be, which I love. I find that so motivating. And if you want to steal that, by all means, put that on your mirror. It feels so good to see that every single day. But I also have a bit of a weird one, which is a sticky note of all of the people who love me, because that is something that I struggle with a little bit, to remind myself that I'm not alone in this world. And I have all of my varsity people on there, which, if you listen to my last episode, you know all about varsity. And it's something I really recommend, especially as you're cultivating this self love, to remind yourself just how loved you are in this planet. And there are people on there that, like, I only talk to like once or twice a year, but when we do get to talk, it's like, oh my God, I love you so much. Like, it's like that kind of vibe, you know? One of the other things that I would really encourage you when you're doing your affirmations is to play around with the syntax. And what I mean by that is, it might feel a bit more potent to use I am versus you are versus they are or she is or he is, whatever pronoun you use. So, for example, if you have I am a warrior versus you are a warrior versus she is a warrior, right? All of these hit a bit differently. And when I said that, there might be one that you latch onto a little bit more than the others. And it can feel different with every single affirmation. For myself, I find that if there's something that I like really believe 75 to 90%, then saying I am is incredibly helpful. But if I'm only in like the 50% category, then saying you are is way more potent for me. And if I like don't believe it at all, then saying they are is the most helpful for me. In my self-love subliminal, I also will add a question at the end, because again, the subconscious mind loves being able to answer those questions for you. So for example, I have an affirmation that I phrase in 3 different ways. I am devoted to myself in ways that change my entire reality. You are devoted to yourself in ways that change your entire reality. Why am I so deeply loyal to myself? What I'm trying to do with this is I'm trying to attack your subconscious mind from multiple different directions to really hammer home that affirmation, so that way it can become your reality. It can become a belief that much quicker. Because that's what affirmations are. They're just beliefs. So if you're constantly saying, I suck, I am unworthy, I don't deserve this, those are affirmations. They're just not working for you. Okay, this episode is a bit on the shorter side, but I really hope that you enjoyed it. I'm also so curious if you knew about subliminals before this moment, or if you learned anything new, because to me, this is something that is relatively common in my world, but when I talk about it with my friends, I feel like nobody has ever heard of them. So I would love to know, and I'll have all of the links in the description if you're interested in purchasing any of my subliminals. Oh, also, if you are currently job hunting and would like a custom subliminal that is all about finding your dream career, I would love to gift that to you. Feel free to email me and we can make that happen, because again, this is something that I believe in so wholeheartedly, and especially with the world being as scary as it is, I feel like having any evidence to the contrary is really helpful. And so, yeah, just let me know. I would love to help. I would love to hear what affirmations you have on your bathroom mirror or bathroom mirror equivalent. Thank you, as always, for being with me, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Bye.